I crossed over into the primordial desolation, becoming the very first of the innate human race. I knew deep down that the human race was nothing more than a tool for the future 6 saints to achieve enlightenment. What's more, we were a race destined to be schemed against and turned into puppets. To prevent the way of humanity from being manipulated into puppets before it could even emerge, I acted when Nuwa was about to name the human race. I preempted her and declared, "Our race shall be known as the human race." This left her with insufficient karmic fortune to achieve sainthood. And so, Nuwa tried to recover that lost fortune. She intended to bestow a name upon me, but I spoke my own name first. My name is Chen. But, unwilling to give up, she made another proposal. Could the human race revere me as their holy mother? They can. But you must make a Tao oath. Otherwise, the human race will neither revere nor worship you. Even in the primordial desolation, the heavenly Tao and its saints have their flaws. Fine, I agree to your terms. I, Nuwa, shall make a Tao oath here today. If the human race reveres me as their holy mother, I shall swear to. Suddenly, from the 9 heavens, a bolt of purple cloud divine lightning came crashing down, striking right at Nuwa's head. Silence. Disciple pays respects to master. Nuwa, the 3 pure ones, and the 2 western saints all fell to their knees, paying homage to the Tao ancestor. All the countless great powers of the primordial desolation knelt in unison. Even common demon beasts prostrated themselves, trembling in fear. However, the witch tribe and I were the exceptions. The witch tribe only kneels before Pangu. As for me, I believe my fate is my own to control, not heaven's. Hongjun paid it no mind. He turned his gaze to Nuwa. Nuwa, a Tao oath is not to be made casually. You almost made a grave mistake. His tone was calm, yet it carried a profound reprimand. Disciple knows her error. A wave of fear washed over Nuwa. In the very instant she had started to swear the oath, she had sensed a terrifying karmic backlash that not even a saint could escape. It had been rushing towards her. Chen, Nuwa was to achieve sainthood by creating humanity. The human race was to revere Nuwa as their holy mother. This is the mandate of heaven. Why did you choose to obstruct it? Hongjun's voice rolled like thunder, resounding in everyone's mind like a great bell. Hearing his words, I lifted my head and looked directly at him. This old man may have looked like an immortal sage, but he was definitely no pushover. Greetings, ancestor of the heavenly Tao. Nuwa created the human race, but she also achieved sainthood because of them. This is merely a transaction of mutual benefit between Nuwa and the human race. A win-win situation, nothing more. Your statement, ancestor of the heavenly Tao, is out of line. In an instant, Hongjun's gaze sharpened. I had called him the ancestor of the heavenly Tao, not the Tao ancestor. His eyes transformed into 2 beams of golden light, shooting straight towards me. His primordial spirit stepped into the river of destiny, attempting to peer into my secrets. However, at the very moment of contact, from the depths of the river of destiny, a majestic phantom of a colossal, heaven-propping giant slowly emerged with world-shattering power. Its aura instantly crushed everything. High above in the void, Hongjun actually coughed up a mouthful of blood. The countless great powers were utterly stunned. They began to re-evaluate the human race. The faces of the 6 great disciples turned pale. They rushed to ask, Master, are you all right? Hongjun slowly opened his eyes, taking a deep breath. I am fine, but within his heart, a tempest was already raging. He was the great Tao ancestor, a being supposedly untouched by karma, to be forcefully struck by backlash from the river of fate of the human race. Chen, the human race was created by Nuwa. This is the law of heaven. You have already snatched away their destiny. This title of Holy Mother should be left to Nuwa. On this, I will not yield. Then have Nuwa first swear a Tao oath, otherwise, the human race will never worship her. Chen. How dare you be so insolent? You are too presumptuous to dare disrespect our teacher. Hongjun silenced them with a single glance. The great Tao is 50, the heavens manifest 49, and 1 escapes, giving all living beings a glimmer of hope. Chen, you have already gotten what you wanted. Why must you sever this one glimmer of hope for Nuwa? You've gone too far, have I? I sneered. I am merely trying to secure a peaceful future for the human race. If you have a clear conscience, what does it matter if you swear a Tao oath? Yet now you stop me from having Nuwa swear the oath. What, could it be that you truly have something to hide? Chen, you are insolent. Hongjun could no longer maintain his composure. Those words struck a raw nerve. I am a saint. How could I possibly plot against you? I sneered inwardly. In this entire primordial world, you're the greatest schemer of all. And you have the audacity to claim you don't plot against others? Who are you trying to fool? I won't back down. Make Nuwa swear the Tao oath. Or, you could swear the oath yourself. It would be the same. This is outrageous. Hongjun finally erupted in fury. I am the Tao ancestor. How could I possibly swear an oath so casually? Haha, so it seems we can't reach an agreement. After all this talk, you're all unwilling to swear the oath. Then don't blame me for turning hostile. I suddenly spun around. Facing the firstborn human race behind me, I declared loudly. We, the human race, shall be self-reliant and independent. We bow to neither heaven nor earth. We worship neither ghosts nor gods. The path of the human race will be walked by the human race alone. Starting now, rumble, the sky roared with furious thunder. Silence. Hong Jun was so enraged his beard trembled. Chen, do you truly believe that I have no other options? I believe you do. Then go ahead and try. But at most, you will only make Nuwa a saint. Hong Jun gritted his teeth in anger. What's done is done. The course of destiny is hard to change. He began to rapidly calculate and scheme, trying to salvage enough benefits. Chen, the human race can refrain from worshipping Nuwa as the Holy Mother. The guidance of the human race will be entrusted to you. You shall be known as the pioneer sage of the human race. I was stunned. Such a good offer? The countless great powers were also completely surprised. The Dao ancestor had compromised. But Hong Jun's next words made me gasp in shock. I have 6 disciples under my tutelage. As the pioneer sage of the human race, you can become my 7th disciple. In the future, you can achieve sainthood and become the saint of the human race. The billions of beings in the primordial world erupted in an uproar. A direct disciple of the Dao ancestor. A future saint, the entire order of the primordial world is about to change completely. The expressions of the 3 pure ones, Nuwa, Jian, and Zunti all changed drastically. Nuwa cried out in panic, Teacher, you can't. Teacher, if the human race does not worship me as the Holy Mother, how can I ever achieve sainthood? Silence. Hong Jun was also seething with anger. You can even make a mistake while creating humans, and you still have the nerve to cause a scene? Chen, what do you think? I shook my head without hesitation. I don't think much of it. Chen, that's enough. I have already taken a step back. What more could you possibly want? Hong Jun was furious, the air around him stirring without any wind. His Taoist robes whipped about him. I am unwilling to take you as my master, and I certainly don't want the human clan to be at your mercy. I stared at him intently. Unless you swear a Dao oath, there is no possibility of the human clan backing down. Even if our entire clan is annihilated, we will not retreat even half a step. How could I not see through his scheme? Once I become his disciple, I'll be completely under his thumb in the future. This so-called opportunity to become a saint is nothing but a trap for fools. You scoundrel, Hong Jun berated him sternly. Chen, you've challenged me time and time again. I'm afraid I'll have to punish you. Fine. Who's afraid of who? The future of the human clan is at stake. I will not retreat a single step. This is the only chance for the human clan to change its fate. You vile creature, Hong Jun roared in anger. He pressed down towards me with a single hand, and the terrifying power of a saint's laws instantly swept over me. You ant, you dare to think you can control me? Today, I shall destroy you. Rumble. The power of the heavenly Tao erupted suddenly. I and the humans behind me were completely unharmed. On the contrary, Hong Jun was blasted back several steps. All the great powers present were in utter disbelief. The Dao ancestor himself attacked, yet he failed to harm a single hair on my head. Hong Jun burned with even greater fury and immediately communed with the heavenly Dao. The jade butterfly of creation appeared above his head, and the brilliant power of the heavenly Dao's laws instantly locked onto me. Di Jun and Dongwang Taiyi of the demon clan's heavenly court, as well as Tai Ching and Yuanqi of the 3 pure ones, were all gloating, certain that I was doomed to die this time. Only Tongtian stepped forward and tried to mediate. Chen, let's both take a step back. Becoming a saint is the priority. I'll act as a guarantor. If I become a saint one day, I will surely protect your human clan. What do you say? I cupped my hands in a salute to Tongtian. Taoist Tongtian, you are too kind for such a generous offer. Chen, thank you. However, this matter concerning the human clan is too important. I cannot back down now. Then, I turned to look at Hong Jun, and at all the great powers of the primordial world, and I shouted out loud. Either you swear the Dao oath, and the human clan will willingly revere Nuwa as our holy mother. Otherwise, the human clan would rather have our very souls obliterated than bow our heads in submission. Not even one little bit. As my voice faded, I stood with my head held high, ready to face death without fear. Such audacity, Hong Jun roared. The jade disc of creation came crashing down on me with world-destroying power. Chen, since you refuse to back down, then I shall erase you. Die. Break. I gathered the chi of 100,000 innate humans. The phantom behind me clenched its fist and smashed it violently towards the jade disc of creation. I was betting that he wouldn't dare to truly exterminate the entire human race. Betting he wouldn't dare defy the great trend of the heavenly Tao. And just at this tense moment, the primordial heaven lord was so enraged by my desperate, all-or-nothing stance that he coughed up blood and fainted on the spot. The 2 sages of the west couldn't take it anymore and began to curse loudly. I shot back with a single line, stating I couldn't be bothered to speak with such shameless scoundrels. Those words instantly struck a chord with many powerful beings. Kunpeng and Ancestor Ming he stood up to agree on the spot, making Jian and Zunti so furious they were about to explode. I pressed them further, demanding they swear a Dao oath to prove their innocence. If what I said is true, may my soul be shattered and scattered. This immediately forced the 2 into stunned silence. And then, in front of all the living beings of the primordial world, I swore a Dao oath. If the West's Jian and Zunti ever dare to frame and plot against the human race, then I, Chen, the #1 person of the primordial world, will surely flatten their western sacred ground and destroy their entire Dao lineage. Otherwise may my soul be utterly destroyed. Tongtian hurriedly shouted to stop me. He unhappily advised me to watch my words, but I showed him no respect whatsoever. I shot right back, even revealing the future fate of his own lineage being plotted against. I pointed out that converting to the Mystic Gate's immortal Tao was in itself an act of great disrespect to Pangu. Ji Chen, shut your mouth. Hong Jun let out a heaven-shaking roar. He absolutely couldn't sit still any longer. I wasn't just talking to Tongtian. I was clearly leaking heavenly secrets and altering the fate of the primordial world. He even received a warning from the Tao because of this. The jade disc of creation appeared once again. Hong Jun's true form descended completely, staring at me with overflowing killing intent. Ji Chen, you've gone too far. Don't think for a second that just because you've gathered 100,000 innate humans, I can't kill you. I'll ask you one last time. Kneel before the Holy Mother now, or else, you will die. He was already certain in his heart that I must know the future, and could even be the reincarnation of a chaos demon god. But this Ji Chen before him, no. Ji Chen had to die, or, he had to be brought under his control. My tirade sent shockwaves through the entire primordial world. Even the witch tribe heard it crystal clear and clapped their hands in approval. Especially when I berated the 3 pure ones, saying they had abandoned the true lineage of Pangu. And when I called them disrespectful, the 12 ancestral witches literally jumped for joy. And there was also Ancestor Mingyi. This furious tirade from Ji Chen had finally gotten great revenge for him. One could only see that high in the sky. The laws of the heavenly Tao were gathering rapidly. Ji Chen, do you really think I cannot kill you? A moment ago, I willingly endured a backlash from my attack. To erase the heavenly Tao's protection over your human race of the primordial world. The moment Hong Jun said this, the entire primordial world erupted in an uproar. The faces of countless beings changed dramatically. Everyone was crying out that the human race was doomed this time. I focused my senses, model. My heart sank. The innate heavenly Tao protection of the human race. He actually managed to forcefully erase it, even at the cost of a backlash to his own Tao foundation. This old bastard, to kill me. He's truly ruthless. Ji Chen. You feel it now, don't you? I will give you one more chance. Kneel and worship Nuwa as the Holy Mother, and you too can become my 7th disciple. In the future, you can become a sage of the human race. Otherwise, I can only erase you. As Hong Jun's voice fell, the sky instantly changed. On one side, golden clouds of merit shone brightly, on the other, the eye of heavenly punishment roared open. The terrifying aura of the world-destroying divine lightning pressed down on half the primordial world. Countless beings thought my death was certain. They all urged me to submit to the Tao ancestor. Taiching, Yuanxi, Jian, Zunti, and Nuwa even jumped out to mock me harshly, trying to force me to kneel and bow. Only Tongtian looked at me, his brow tightly furrowed. The words I had said to enlighten him echoed repeatedly in his mind. He actually began to subconsciously wonder if the choices he had made in the past were truly wrong. Ji Chen. Are you going to kneel or not? Hong Jun's voice thundered across the entire primordial world. I knew perfectly well that he didn't really want me as a disciple. He just wanted to placate me for now, then find a chance to kill me later. All without damaging the foundation of the primordial world. So I answered directly, I'm not kneeling. So what? You think you can force me? Then go ahead and try. Stubborn fool, since you insist. Today, you will kneel whether you want to or not. The moment Hong Jun finished speaking, he grabbed the vast golden clouds of merit from the sky, about to forcibly pour them into the human race of the primordial world. I knew all too well that this heavenly Tao merit could not be touched. Once accepted, we'd be trapped in a fatal karma with the heavenly Tao. The human race would never be able to escape its schemes. I roared in anger, igniting the collective will of the entire human race. With one punch, I shattered the heavenly merit that could have made anyone a sage on the spot, smashing it to pieces. In that instant, all the great powers of the primordial world were dumbfounded. Countless people wrung their hands and sighed in regret. Jian and Zunti in particular cried out what a pity it was, mumbling that this merit had an affinity with the West. On the spot, Hong Jun's lungs nearly exploded with rage. He roared furiously. Ji Chen, you are insolent. That's right, I am insolent. What can you do about it? We've already dropped all pretenses. There's no need for me to give you any face. Seeing that I had seen through his scheme, Hong Jun dropped the act and went straight for the kill. If that's the case, then just die. The world-destroying divine lightning, carrying an earth-shattering aura, came crashing down. Taiching, Nuwa, and the others all laughed wildly, taunting me one after another, saying this was the price for defying them. Just as the divine lightning was about to strike me, I suddenly turned and knelt straight down in the direction of Buzhou Mountain. At that moment, the entire primordial world was stunned. Even Hong Jun was taken aback. They all thought I had seen reason and was about to give in. But in the next second, Hong Jun's face instantly turned deathly pale. An extreme sense of crisis swept over his entire body. I made a solemn vow with a booming voice. My voice spread to every corner of the primordial world. Great God Pangu above, thanks to the great God Pangu for creating the heavens and the earth, giving rise to this splendid primordial world. Every last living being is eternally grateful to the great God Pangu. Today, the human clan is in peril. We hope the great God Pangu will intervene to save us and protect my human clan from being bullied. I, Ji Chen, the first of the human clan in the primordial world, having received the grace of the great God Pangu, hereby swear an oath. In the future, the human clan will surely repay this kindness 100-fold. We beg the great god Pangu to save our human clan. For all of eternity, the human clan will never forget the great favor of Pangu. As these words were spoken, the entire primordial world was utterly shaken. No one could have expected that my final trump card would be to summon the long-fallen great god Pangu. In the next second, a terrifying pressure, impossible to describe. It erupted from Bujo Mountain, instantly enveloping the entire primordial world. Countless mighty beings were forced to their knees by this pressure, unable to move a muscle. Hongjun spat out a mouthful of blood on the spot and fell straight to his knees. Nuwa, Jian, and Zunti were smashed directly to the ground. They couldn't even lift their heads, only able to cry out in trembling voices, "We pay our respects to the great god Pangu." Before the will of Pangu, the eye of heavenly punishment instantly shattered with countless cracks. Hongjun, as if driven mad, summoned the jade disc of creation and roared. "Pangu, you have already fallen. Why do you still interfere in the primordial world?" But the only response he received was the even greater wrath of Pangu's will. Hongjun was rocked again, spitting out another mouthful of blood. Above Mount Bujo, the phantom of a sky-supporting giant had already appeared. Wielding the sky-splitting axe, it was about to sever all the karmic ties bound to the human clan. Hongjun was utterly panicked. A great roar spread throughout the chaos. "This is bad. Why aren't you all acting to suppress Pangu? Otherwise, you will all surely perish in body and soul." With a deafening boom from the depths of the chaos, the auras of several chaos demon gods descended in an instant. The great god Yonglu and the other surviving chaos demon gods all appeared, joining forces with Hongjun. They charged toward the phantom of Pangu, but in a single exchange, they were sent into a full retreat by the force of Pangu's will. Hongjun could only use all his strength to summon the jade disc of creation to protect the primordial world. All the chaos demon gods manifested their true forms, desperately entangling the will of Pangu. In the instant they were locked in combat, my eyes lit up. This was my chance. I immediately turned around. I shouted to the 100,000 innate humans behind me, my voice like thunder. I, Gu Chen, the first of the innate human clan in the primordial world. Today announced to all the living beings of the primordial world. Today, I, Gu Chen, wish to sever the bond between the human clan and Nuwa. From now on, I will be in charge of all matters of the human clan. But before I could finish my words, an attack, carrying with it a heaven-storming hatred, shot straight for my face. It was Nuwa. I had ruined her chance at sainthood. She had long hated me to the very bone. Seeing that Pangu was occupied, she launched a killing blow directly at me. I cursed silently in my heart. I hadn't accounted for this crazy woman. Not daring to be careless, I instantly gathered all the fortune and will of the 100,000 innate humans, manifesting the phantom of a sky-supporting giant. I met Nuwa's attack head-on, with a deafening roar. Nuwa and I were both sent reeling, severely injured. All the great powers of the primordial world were left dumbfounded. No one could have imagined that I, a mere mortal, could actually clash with Nuwa head-on and even catch her completely by surprise. Nuwa's eyes turned bloodshot with rage. She turned to Taiching and the others and roared, "My fellow disciples, lend me your strength. We must kill Gu Chen. The destiny of the human race shall be yours to share." As soon as she said this, Taiching, Yuanqi, Jian and Zunti's eyes instantly gleamed with greed. They all struck at once. The Taiji diagram blotted out the sky, trapping the 100,000 firstborn humans. It forcefully suppressed the destiny of the human race. The Pangu banner followed right after. It smashed viciously upon the head of the giant I manifested, seeking to sever my connection to the human race. Suppressed by the two great innate treasures, I started bleeding from my eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. My entire body felt like it was being torn apart, but I didn't back down 1 inch. Even if I die today, I will brand the human race with an indelible mark of self-reliance and defiance. I spat out a mouthful of my heart's blood and roared a solemn oath to the entire primordial world. I, Gu Chen, the firstborn of the primordial world, hereby declare to all existence and awaken the human race. The human race shall stand strong and independent, bowing to neither heaven nor earth. I, Gu Chen, hereby make this blood oath. I will be the teacher of humanity, and I will enlighten them. I will lead our people to overcome all hardships and strive for greatness. I will clear the path for the rise of humanity. If I should die, I will become the soul of our people, and protect them for 10,000 generations. Let heaven, earth, men, ghosts, and gods bear witness to this blood oath. Rumble. In the great unseen, there was a resonance. That drop of my heart's blood instantly transformed into countless sigils, branding itself deep into the soul of every human. The great powers of the primordial world were thrown into chaos. They all understood what I was doing. Even in death, I was digging a great pit for them to fall into in the future. Like madmen, they all activated their treasures, trying to break my blood oath. Just then, the 12 ancestor witches also made their move. They sensed the will of the Father God and instantly combined their powers to form the true body of Pangu. With a roar, it struck down at the celestial circuit star formation that imprisoned them. Countless members of the demon clan exploded on the spot, and the celestial circuit star formation began to crumble. Nuwa and the others were in a total panic. If the witch clan won the war with the help of Pangu's will, all of their schemes would be for nothing. They immediately made their decision. Kill me first. The Taiji diagram, the Pangu banner, the 7 treasured branch, the golden lotus of merit, the painting of the world. All the innate supreme treasures erupted at once, instantly shattering the human will I had gathered. All 100,000 firstborn humans were blasted back, coughing up blood. The golden dragon of human destiny was shattered by Nuwa on the spot. Ignoring the backlash, Nuwa charged at me like a woman possessed. I was completely immobilized by the Taiji diagram, and the Pangu banner had severed my connection to the human race. I could only watch helplessly as her attack drew ever closer, a wave of powerlessness washing over me. Am I really going to die here today? With a thud, Nuwa's attack landed squarely on me, but the death I expected never came. Instead, a monstrous killing aura instantly swept across the entire world. 4 giant swords, large enough to hold up the heavens, appeared out of thin air. They pinned down the 4 corners of the world, and an endless, murderous sword intent instantly unfurled, directly sealing off a separate space. It was the immortal slaying sword formation. Tongtian, what do you think you're doing? Taiching and Yuanqi went mad in an instant. They roared furiously. Amidst the endless killing aura, a figure slowly walked out. It was the Tongtian cult master. Yuanqi was so furious he could barely contain himself, and he roared in anger. Tongtian, have you gone mad? How dare you stop us from killing Ji Chen? Are you trying to sever Nuwa's path to sainthood? This is defying our master and making an enemy of the heavens. But Tongtian merely raised his eyes, his gaze sweeping over them all. His voice was firm and resonant. Since the human race has appeared, it has a right to exist. All living things deserve a chance at survival. For you to forcibly exterminate them is going too far. Taiching and the others were completely flustered. Everyone knew that with the 4 immortal slaying swords, Tongtian was the most powerful being below the saints. He could take on all 4 of them without breaking a sweat. But Tongtian gave them no chance to argue. The light from the 4 immortal slaying swords surged, and the endless, murderous sword intent erupted completely. Today, I, Tongtian, will protect the human race. If any of you object, then come and fight me. With that, the entire primordial realm was shaken. Hongjun, who was entangling Pangu's will in the chaos, saw this, and his hatred soared to the heavens. He frantically sent a telepathic message to Taiching and the others, ordering them to kill me at all costs. Taiching's heart turned completely cold. He roared at Tongtian in fury. Tongtian, as your elder brother, I will ask you one last time. Are you certain you want to make an enemy of me and Yuanqi? Tongtian's expression remained unchanged. He replied with a single phrase, enough talk. Either back down, or we fight. Taiching was so enraged his eyes turned crimson, and he roared. Fine, just fine. In that case, the bond between us, the 3 pure ones, ends today. As soon as the words left his mouth, he immediately turned to Yuanqi, Jian, and Zunti and gave an order. The 4 of us will hold off the immortal slaying sword formation. Sister Nuwa, I'm leaving the task of killing Ji Chen to you. Alright, Nuwa responded, the killing intent in her eyes flaring. She charged toward me once again. Ji Chen. There's no one left to protect you now. Die. Nuwa transformed into a streak of red light and shot straight towards me. Nuwa, you dare. Tongtian roared and drew his Qingping sword, lunging at Nuwa. At the same time, he sent me a telepathic message, Ji Chen. My power is limited. This sliver of a chance is all I can create for you. The rest will depend on your own destiny. Thank you. The moment I finished speaking, Nuwa's red hydrangea had already firmly blocked the sword of green duckweed. The mountains and rivers map, carrying world-destroying power, pressed directly down on me. Ji Chen, go to hell. Rumble. The entire coast of the East Sea was instantly swept by a massive tremor. Amidst the blast wave of the explosion, I let out a cold laugh. Nuwa, do you really think you got me? Without the help of your 2 great Shanshan supreme treasures, I'd like to see how you'll kill me now. The next second, I borrowed the terrifying will of the 100,000 Shanshan humans and empowered it with the destiny of the entire human race, transforming into a 1,000-jong golden giant that soared into the sky. What? With a single slap, I sent her mountains and rivers map flying. Nuwa, at this moment, my anger reached its peak. The golden giant swelled up again, and the golden light erupting from its body completely overwhelmed the brilliance of the stars in the sky. The entire coast of the East Sea was illuminated as if it were day. Not far away, the expressions of the 6 future sages changed drastically. Even Hongjun, who was locked in battle on Mount Bujo, thought to himself that this was bad. He was so angry he almost coughed up blood. He had figured it out. The human Tao Golden Dragon had chosen me, which was why I could mobilize the entire destiny of the human race as I wished. At the same time, in the heavenly court, Di Jun and Dongwang Taiyi, who were controlling the cosmic stars array, also panicked. My golden light directly suppressed the cosmic stars. The eruption of the human race's destiny not only weakened the great array, but also caused the combat power of the opposing Wu clan to soar. The 12 ancestral witches seized the opportunity and combined their power to manifest the true form of Pangu, launching a full power attack at the crumbling array. Dongwang Taiyi hastily threw out the Dongwang bell to stabilize the array's foundation, but it was already too late. The 12 ancestral witches directly burned their ancestral blood essence, Pangu's true form, carrying the soul of creation, fiercely chopped down. Rumble. The cosmic stars array was split open in an instant. A terrifying explosion swept across all directions. A tsunami tens of thousands of miles high rose from the East Sea, and the entire primordial world trembled violently. The immortal slaying sword formation exploded on the spot. Tongtian was thrown back, coughing up blood. Nuwa nearly had her 3 flowers dissipate, and the golden body of human will that I had condensed was also destroyed by the blast wave. The 100,000 Shanshan humans were all injured, and more than half of the human race's destiny was consumed. But what no one expected was that after the explosion, Pangu's true form stood firmly on the coast of the East Sea, showing no signs of collapse. Before everyone could come to their senses, the will of Pangu on Mount Buzhou instantly broke through the blockade of Hongjun and the other chaos demon gods, burning its own will to forcibly descend upon the ancestral witch's true form. Heaven and earth were instantly plunged into darkness, and world-ending divine lightning rolled down. A one-armed giant, who stood as tall as the heavens, slowly opened his eyes, holding the sky-opening divine axe in one hand. Wherever his gaze swept, the great Tao itself trembled. The 3 pure ones immediately knelt on the ground, but what they received was an angry, cold snort from Pangu. The 3 of them instantly coughed up blood. Pangu saw through the river of fate with a single glance. He saw clearly the future fate of the Wu clan and the human race. In his fury, he directly stirred the river of fate. Sky-high waves surged up. Hongjun was utterly panicked. He immediately burned his primordial spirit's blood essence, activating the jade butterfly of creation to protect the entire primordial world, and led the chaos demon gods into the river of fate to stop him, roaring for Pangu to stop. Pangu, stop, you have already fallen. Why even appear? This primordial wilderness was created by you. Are you trying to destroy this primordial wilderness? Look at your descendants, the witch clan. If you continue to sustain Pangu's true form, the 12 ancestral shamans will surely be annihilated because of you. Furthermore, the destinies of the human and shaman clans are now intertwined. Do you really intend for mutual destruction? Just then, Pangu's gaze fell upon me. 2 beams of golden light pierced through the darkness, locking eyes with me. In that instant, he saw my past and present lives, and I saw his entire existence. I also saw everything in the river of fate that had been altered by Mu. A long, deep sigh emanated from Pangu's mouth. Seeing this, Hongjun immediately gritted his teeth and stated his terms. Pangu, let's end today's conflict here. Chen can be the mentor of the human clan. After today, we will each resort to our own devices. You must not interfere, otherwise I, Hongjun, would rather we all perish together. As soon as he said this, all the great powers of the primordial world were stunned. Nuwa anxiously tried to stop him, but was cut off by Hongjun's sharp command. Hongjun then added, saying that Nuwa had earned great merit by creating humanity, and her ascension to sagehood was already assured. He had already made a concession, telling Pangu not to push him too far. After a moment's standoff, Pangu's will slowly dissipated. Before it vanished, it gave me one last profound look. Pangu's true form then crumbled, and the 12 ancestral shamans fell to the earth. Each of them was utterly spent, looking ancient and frail. Despite his deathly pale face, Hongjun forced himself to wave a hand, healing the scars on the primordial land. He immediately set a new rule, for the next 10,000 years. The shaman and demon clans were forbidden from waging war. Immediately after, he forcibly infused the remaining merit from the creation of humanity into Nuwa, helping her shatter the limits of a quasi-sage right then and there. In a single step, she ascended to the realm of a sage, her primordial spirit merging with the heavenly Tao. Celestial music filled the heavens and the earth as a golden rain of merit fell. The fortune of the demon clan skyrocketed in an instant, completely eclipsing that of the shaman clan. Countless beings across the primordial world knelt in worship. Only my human clan and the shaman clan stood firm and unmoving. The moment Nuwa achieved sagehood, she finally realized what the 3 conditions I had forced her to accept were all a part of my scheme. Her face instantly contorted with rage. Pointing at me, she roared, Chen, you tricked me, so those conditions from before. It was all just your plot against me. How dare you? I slowly rose to my feet and let out a chuckle. What, you're only just now figuring it out? You really are dense. You what? I cut her off. You want all the benefits without putting in any of the work. Where do you think you'll find a deal that good in this world, Nuwa? You want to have it both ways, don't you? At this, Nuwa flew into a rage. She raised her hand to strike me, but was stopped by Hongjun's sharp command. Hongjun hated my guts, but he was afraid of provoking Pangu's will again. He could only order Nuwa, upon her ascension, to establish her domain beyond the 33 heavens and forbid her from entering the primordial world without cause. Then, he turned his head and looked at me. He started shifting the blame, saying the tragic state of the primordial wilderness today was all my fault. Then he hypocritically said that I had fought for a sliver of hope for the human clan. He offered to name me the teacher of the human clan and even take me in as his disciple. I would be his 7th disciple, on the condition that I do not alter the course of destiny. I laughed on the spot and shot right back at him. The title, Teacher of the Human Clan, is not yours to bestow. I am the first of the innate humans. I already bear the responsibility of enlightening the human clan. I don't need your false kindness. As for being your disciple, you're dreaming. Every person in my primordial human clan is like a dragon. A mere disciple of the Tao ancestor is not even worthy of my notice. Hongjun was fuming at my words. He trembled with rage. I met his gaze and said word by word, Hongjun, you listen to me. The affairs of the human clan will be handled by the human clan themselves. Keep your disciples in line. If any of them dare to scheme against the human clan, I don't care who it is. I will personally grind them to dust. Not even a saint is an exception. Even if it means mutual destruction and the shattering of the primordial wilderness. A monstrous killing intent shot up to the heavens. Hong Jun clenched his fists tightly. In the end, he could only grit his teeth and leave with one final sentence: "We will each use our own means." He said the position of the seventh disciple of Zishao Palace would always be reserved for me. Then, he turned and left with his disciples. On a strange impulse, I shouted to Tongtian, who was beside me. "Fellow Taoist Tongtian, the Xuanman immortal way is a dead end. You're better off cultivating the great Tao of Pan Jiyu. You saw it yourself just now. A mere sliver of Pan Gu's will was enough to make Hong Jun cower like a dog." The moment I finished speaking, I saw Hong Jun stumble in the distance. He nearly fell to the ground. He turned his head and roared furiously at me. "Ji Chen, shut your mouth." Then he and his followers vanished without a trace. I let out a sigh of relief. This battle to the death. In the end, I managed to win a sliver of hope for the human clan. Just then, the leader of the 12 ancestral witches, Di Zhang, dragged his weary and aged body over. He told me that the human clan could now develop in peace. And if we ever needed help, the witch clan, even if it meant sacrificing everything, would protect the human clan. I thanked him for his kindness, and promised to visit the ancestral witch temple after settling my people. Watching the 12 ancestral witches leave, I turned to look at the 100,000 innate humans behind me. I spread my arms and shouted, "My kinsmen! With today's battle, we have shown all the beings of the primordial wilderness that the human clan is not to be trifled with. We have won ourselves a sliver of hope, but whether we can hold on to it is up to us." I gathered the luck of the human clan and proclaimed to the entire primordial wilderness. I, Ji Chen, the first of the innate humans of the primordial wilderness, hereby declare to all under heaven: I shall be the teacher of the human clan, and the human clan shall be under my protection. While I live, I swear to advance the human race. I will sweep away all obstacles to humanity's progress. When I die, I will surely become the soul of the human clan and protect its everlasting peace for all eternity. Let heaven, earth, mortals, ghosts, and gods all bear witness. As soon as I finished speaking, the 100,000 connate humans all knelt and cried out in unison. We pay our respects to the teacher of humanity. In that instant, the fortune of the human clan skyrocketed. It not only replenished our previous losses but also broke through to a new height in a single bound. It even caused the fortune of the witch clan to rise along with it. And just at that moment, an endless golden light of heavenly merit descended from the sky, heading straight for me. It was even greater than the merit bestowed when Nuwa created humanity. All the great powers of the primordial world looked on with burning envy. But I just let out a cold snort, channeled the golden giant, and threw a punch. I shattered the vast heavenly merit completely. HMPH, how dare this trivial heavenly merit act so presumptuously? It seems you treated the words I just spoke as nothing but hot air. The sky was instantly covered in dark clouds as rolling thunderclouds began to gather. A world-ending heavenly punishment was building up, ready to strike. I stood proudly in the sky, utterly unafraid. The affairs of the human clan will be decided by the human clan alone. We need no one's pity. I knew very well that once I accepted this merit, the human clan would be forever shackled to the heavenly Tao. All of our previous desperate struggles would have been for nothing. With my declaration made, I withdrew my aura and casually collected the last piece of the 9 heavens breathing soil from the ground. I chuckled to myself, Hong Jun, I've prepared a big surprise for you. Looking at the shores of the East Sea, which were ravaged by the Great War, I knew in my heart that the foundation of the human clan had been damaged. Our strength was diminished, and we could no longer remain here. So with a wave of my hand, I began leading the entire clan on a migration toward Mount Buzhou. Along the way, the various clans of the primordial world all made way for us. Some even offered their goodwill and help, but I refused them all, one by one. The path to the rise of the human clan must be paved by our own hands, one step at a time. Meanwhile, inside the Zishao Palace, the air was filled with grievances. Nuwa was the first to complain, crying and shouting for Hong Jun to seek justice on her behalf. She claimed I almost prevented her from achieving sainthood and caused her to lose most of the human clan's fortune. Taiching, Yuanxi, Jiyan, and Zunti all chimed in, complaining that I had severed their opportunities for sainthood. They called me disrespectful to the mandate of heaven, a heretic of the highest order. Hong Jun opened his eyes and sharply silenced them. In a solemn voice, he said, the human clan has carved out a chance for its own survival. This is their destiny. None of you shall speak of it again. The river of fate in the primordial world is currently in chaos. It will take at least 10,000 years to restore order. This period of time is your opportunity to achieve sainthood. After 10,000 years, all that is variable will become fixed. You must all seize this chance. He paused, then added, the greatest variable at present is still the human clan. And Ji Chen of the human clan is an anomaly even among the variables. If the primordial world is to develop, and if your teachings are to flourish, it will all be inextricably linked to the human clan. Yuanxi quickly asked for a solution. A cold glint flashed in Hong Jun's eyes as he slowly uttered a single sentence. I will make all variables and anomalies return to the fold of destiny. However, when these words were spoken, the disciples felt that something was amiss. My true intention was to break free from destiny. Just then, Hong Jun spoke. But Ji Chen has gathered the fortune of the human race, channeling its will. He has made a vow with his own blood, thereby causing the way of humanity to manifest ahead of its time. Unleashing the golden dragon of humanity. If nothing unexpected happens to Ji Chen, he is destined to become the future ancestor of the way of humanity. As his voice fell, Zishao Palace erupted in an uproar. Taiching was the first to jump out and object. Nuwa, Yuanqi, Jiyan, and Zunti immediately followed. They all knew, if I were to become the ancestor of the way of humanity, the fate of the human race would be decided by my word alone. Even the heavenly Tao wouldn't be able to interfere. Especially Nuwa, who achieved sainthood through the human race, was even more terrified of being completely under my control. Teacher, is there a way to counter this? Hong Jun's eyes flashed with golden light, and he gave them the answer: compete for the fortune of the human race. Prevent Ji Chen from becoming the ancestor of the way of humanity. Turn this human anomaly back into a certainty of fate, and the problem will resolve itself. He also hinted secretly that they should either let the 100,000 innate humans die out, or make them switch their allegiance to the sage's doctrines. Everyone instantly gasped in shock, afraid of getting entangled in the karma of the Wu clan, which was tied to the human race. After all, even Hong Jun himself was once beaten half to death by Pengu's will. Now that fate is in chaos, and the heavenly secrets are obscured, as long as they don't go too far. It will be fine. Hong Jun's words were equivalent to giving them a green light to kill for fortune. He even stated explicitly that for the next 10,000 years, the heavenly Tao would turn a blind eye. Everyone acknowledged and departed, but Hong Jun kept Tongtian behind alone. First, he used the grand destiny of the primordial world, tied to their father god Pengu, to blackmail Tongtian, fearing he would side with me and ruin his plans. Then, he actually took out a strand of primordial violet chi, promising to save the position of his seventh disciple for me. As long as I didn't alter the grand destiny, he would not hinder the development of the human race. Anyone with eyes could see this was no blessing. It was clearly a deadly trap set for me. He wanted to use the primordial violet chi to incite all living beings of the primordial world to fight for it, and drag the human race into a land of eternal damnation. And all of this, I only became fully aware of it 100 years later. During those 100 years, I led the human race on a long migration, multiplying and thriving along the way, expanding our population to several 100,000, while branding the spirit of self-reliance and unyielding will into every clan member. The entire human race was united as one, until we arrived at the foot of Mount Buzhou. A sky-piercing rosy light suddenly erupted. A pillar of golden light shot straight into the heavens. The golden dragon of humanity roared, and the fortune of the entire human race surged wildly. In one fell swoop, it surpassed that of the demon clan, which was protected by sages. Even the Wu clan, whose fortune was linked with ours, rose with a tide. The depleted powers of the 12 ancestral witches were all restored. The entire primordial world was shaken. Nuwa looked at our surging fortune, and was so jealous her eyes looked like they would split open. Di Jun and Tai Yi of the demon clan's heavenly court were so furious they wanted to lead their armies to slaughter the human race immediately. Even Taiching instantly sensed his own opportunity for sainthood and transformed into a streak of light, heading straight for Mount Buzhou. Inside Zishao Palace, Hong Jun's face fell. He was terrified that the destiny of the human clan would fully awaken. The witch-demon war would turn into the humans and witches joining forces to destroy the demons. When that happens, not only will I be unable to sever the karmic ties to Pengu, and even resurrect Pengu, rendering all his schemes useless. At the cost of his own lifeblood, he viciously smashed the jade disc of creation into the river of fate. By joining forces with the power of the heavenly Tao to forcefully suppress it, he barely managed to stabilize the surging fortune of the human race. And I, far away on Buzhou Mountain, suddenly felt a sharp pain in my chest. A mouthful of blood sprayed from my lips, and in that instant, I understood. It was Hong Jun scheming from the shadows. I immediately roared at the heavens. A monstrous killing intent swept across the land as I threw a punch into the void, trying to shatter the barrier and charge into the river of fate, but it was useless. I could only curse that the human race had no saint, and that the way of humanity could not emerge. We were constrained at every turn, and at that very moment, a figure tore through the void, announcing, "I am Taisheng, the first disciple of the Taoist ancestor, here today to enlighten you." His words instantly added fuel to my fire. I flew into a rage. I was just looking for an outlet for the fury Hong Jun had forced me to suppress. And someone just had to show up to steal the human race's fortune, wanting to establish a human sect and turn my people into puppets of the heavenly Tao. Courting death. Without another word, I brought down a palm strike imbued with the immense fortune of the entire human race, slamming the unprepared Taisheng straight into the ground. "You, stop, shut up." My killing intent exploded, and I had only one thought in my mind. Kill Taisheng. I absolutely cannot let his scheme succeed. I cannot let the human race be doomed to oblivion. I drew upon the collective will of hundreds of thousands of my people, condensing it into a colossal golden giant. The endless battle will of the human race converged, forming a crimson spear in the giant's hand. The instant the spear materialized, 10,000 miles of clear sky were dyed black by the killing intent. All the great powers of the primordial desolation thought it was the legendary god-slaying spear. Only Tongtian, a master of the way of slaughter, saw the truth in a single glance. This was the will to fight of the entire human race made manifest. Taisheng, die. I charged at Taisheng with my spear, each strike a suicidal attack meant to take us both down. One thrust sent his chi and blood churning. If not for his Shanshan supreme treasure automatically protecting him, I would have pierced his chest on the spot. Taisheng was forced to summon his Shanshan supreme treasure, the Taiji diagram, unleashing its absolute defense. Seeing this, I immediately ignited the fortune of the human race. The roaring flames of destiny burned all around me, as I prepared to fight him to the death. All the great powers of the primordial desolation called me a madman, saying I was wasting such overwhelming fortune by insisting on burning it all away. But how could they possibly know? I never intended to merely survive by relying on fortune. I was using this fortune as fuel to forge the will of the human race, to create a sacred weapon of war exclusive to our people, and to walk a path that does not depend on the heavenly Tao. A path that does not rely on fortune, but solely on my 2 fists and my 1 spear. To carve out our own world. This is the path of proving the Tao through pure strength. From his Zishao palace, Hongjun watched, his eyes nearly splitting with rage. Yet, he suppressed the urge to act, waiting for my fortune to burn out and for me to seek my own death. Yuanqi, Jiyan, and Zunti also sent down their projections one by one. Some of them berated me, while others offered false words of persuasion. But in truth, they all just wanted a piece of the human race's fortune. I snorted coldly. With a single sweep of my spear, I blew their projections to pieces. Then I issued a warning: if anyone else dares to lay a hand on the human race, I will storm their domain and take their head. Tongtian also sent down a projection, offering kind words of persuasion. I replied with just 1 sentence. Fellow Taoist Tongtian, do me this favor. The affairs of the human clan will be settled by the human clan. He was stunned for a moment, looking at my resolute expression. In the end, he only left me with a promise: if you are defeated, I, Tongtian, will protect your life, even if I must burn the primordial spirit of Pangu to do it. Then he withdrew his projection and interfered no more. The final battle between me and Taisheng erupted completely. He unleashed all his techniques, the Taiji diagram, and the heaven and earth mystic yellow exquisite pagoda. The 2 supreme treasures attacked in turn, while I fought back with the will of the human clan and the spear of slaughter. I fought him until the heavens and earth turned dark and the mountains and rivers shattered. After a long while, we were both thrown back. His hair was a mess, his chi and blood in turmoil. He was in a sorry state. A bloody hole had been punched through my chest. My whole body was covered in wounds, and even the spear of slaughter was chipped. Moreover, the human clan's destiny was severely depleted. I knew very well that the Taiji diagram's defense was unparalleled. By myself, I would never be able to break through his defense. I suddenly looked up, towards the ancestral witch temple, and my eyes met with the 12 ancestral witches, who had long been ready to act. With a heaven-shaking roar, I bellowed, Taisheng will die today. Capital Heaven Divine Killing Formation, help me seize the Taiji diagram. Yes, the 12 ancestral witches didn't hesitate for a moment. They instantly revealed their true forms and leapt onto the battlefield. They immediately set up the 12 capital heavenly gods' grand formation, and the true form of Pangu descended with a thunderous crash. The first form of heaven-splitting, carrying world-destroying might, smashed down viciously upon Taisheng. Taisheng panicked instantly, desperately channeling the Taiji diagram to block the full-powered strike from Pangu's true form. All of his concentration was completely pinned down, leaving him unable to spare even an ounce of energy to guard against me. Now is my chance. I burned the very last shred of the human clan's destiny, ignited the unyielding will of the entire human clan, and forcefully shattered the heavenly might set by Hongjun. Transforming into a streak of crimson light, I raised the spear of slaughter high. Seizing the instant Taisheng's defenses were wide open, I ruthlessly thrust the spear into his chest. He screamed my name, Ji Chen, and frantically called for help. Teacher, save me. Yuanqi, Tongtian, save me. But with Pangu's true form standing before them, and the heavenly Tao's pressure shattered by me, no one dared to set foot on this battlefield of certain death. I had said it before. Anyone who dares to plot against the human clan will die. I roared with fury, channeling power into the spear of slaughter. An endless killing intent from the human clan erupted, instantly obliterating Taisheng's body and primordial spirit. Taisheng, the first disciple of the Tao ancestor, has today fallen by the hand of me, Ji Chen, and by the spear of the human clan. I raised the mighty spear of slaughter high, my voice shaking the entire primordial world. It pierced through the 33 heavens, echoing deep within the soul of every living creature. Those who offend the human clan shall be slain, no matter how far. The entire primordial world fell into a deathly silence. All the great powers were scared out of their wits by this scene. Yuanqi would never dare to oppose the human race again. Nuwa and the others were even more shaken to the core. They were even holding their breath. Just then, Tongtian's eyes flew open, and his anxious roar instantly echoed across the entire primordial world. Ji Chen, watch out! The urgent voice echoed throughout the primordial world. At the very spot where Taiching was killed, thunder suddenly erupted, and waves of chaotic energy burst forth. Ji Chen, you're far too naive. You're still too green to kill me. My face fell. I saw a primordial spirit, shrouded in a terrifying aura that was both strange and familiar, charging right at me. That aura instantly sent a shiver down my spine. I could sense extreme danger. Boom! A sudden clap of thunder exploded out of nowhere. The shockwave sent me flying backwards, spitting out a mouthful of blood. I crashed hard into the earth of the primordial world. Damn it, after all my planning, I still overlooked something. Furious and unwilling to accept it, I instantly understood the crucial point. The 3 pure ones were formed from Pangu's primordial spirit. As long as Pangu is indestructible, their primordial spirits cannot die. Taiching had already been resurrected. With a single grab, the Shanshan supreme treasure, the Taiji diagram, came whistling toward him. Ji Chen, you killed me once. So it's only fair that I kill you once in return, right? Before he could even finish his sentence, he lunged at me, shrouded in an overwhelming heavenly might. His entire being radiated Pangu's tyrannical aura, powerful enough to shatter even Pangu's true form in an instant. The faces of all the powerful beings around them changed as they exclaimed that this wasn't Taiching's aura at all. It was Pangu's aura, just as the Taiji diagram was about to strike. A gentle, yet irresistible force intervened. Taiching, stop. A projection of Hongjun descended directly upon the primordial world, and a terrifying heavenly might instantly swept across the lands. Master, Ji Chen actually dared to kill me. This is the ultimate humiliation. Today, Ji Chen must die. Smack. Before Taiching could finish his sentence, Hongjun slammed him to the ground with one hand, preemptively roaring that his actions were treasonous. The power of the heavenly Tao formed into chains, instantly binding Taiching tightly. But when he turned to look at me, his expression immediately turned cold. Ji Chen, that's enough. You've already killed Taiching once. You should know when to stop. I have stated that there will be no disputes for 10,000 years. You humans dared to defy my words. You truly deserve to be punished. With a single motion of his hand, endless lightning formed into a seal and shot toward me. He intended to seal me for 10,000 years. In that instant, my entire body felt as if it was locked down by an immense force, and I spat out another mouthful of blood. I knew it in my heart. This old geezer was just using this as an excuse. He wants to suppress the human race while our fortune is at a low point. I whipped my head around to face the 12 ancestral witches. And I roared, lend me the essence of Pangu's blood. Alright, the 12 ancestral witches didn't hesitate for a second. Hongjun's face immediately changed, and he sternly shouted, stop. Ji Chen, how dare you? Ha ha ha, what's there to be afraid of? Break for me. In the blink of an eye, I shattered the chains of the heavenly Tao and charged out once more. I glared at Hongjun. Hongjun, you want to suppress me? You're not nearly powerful enough. But I knew this was only a temporary solution. I immediately erupted in a golden light, spitting out a mouthful of my own lifeblood. It merged with the lifeblood of the witch clan as I raised my arm and made a vow to all of humanity. Listen, everyone of the human clan. From this moment forward, the human clan and the witch clan will share life and death, our bloodlines forever connected. We will share fortune and calamity, with this blood oath as our witness. Hongjun grew desperate, frantically trying to stop me. But the 12 ancestral witches immediately followed suit, swearing an oath to the heavens and the earth. We vow to join our bloodline with the human clan, to share in all glory and dishonor. Rumble, thunder rolled across the heavens and the earth. The eye of heavenly punishment manifested, and Pangu's terrifying might swept out from Bujo Mountain. Hongjun screamed threats, but a single blow from Pangu's will send him reeling, coughing up blood. Though Pangu's will had not fully awakened, it acknowledged the blood oath between humans and witches. Hongjun was furious, but he refused to let the matter rest. With a wave of his hand, he sent the infinite merits of the heavenly Tao surging toward Taiching. Taiching, your chance to achieve sainthood is here. If you do not become a saint now, then when will you? Taiching understood instantly and immediately proclaimed to the primordial world. I, Taiching, today establish the human sect, under the Taoist title, Dao De Tianjun. I shall use the supreme treasure, the Taiji diagram, to anchor its destiny. The human sect is hereby established. An endless golden light descended. Miraculous signs filled the heavens and the earth. And with that, Taiching became a saint. I trembled with rage. In an instant, I understood everything. This was Hongjun's scheme from the very beginning. He wanted to use me to kill Taiching. He wanted me to bear that karmic debt, then use it as a bargaining chip to negotiate with Pangu's will. It was the perfect excuse to elevate Taiching to sainthood and even drain the destiny of the human clan in the process. I tried everything to guard against him, but in the end, that old fox still used me as his pawn. But before I could make a move, another proclamation echoed across the world. I, Yuan Shi of the Three Pure Ones, am inspired today to establish the Chan sect. I shall use the Pangu banner to anchor its destiny, to help the living beings of the primordial world comprehend the ultimate principles of the heavenly Tao. My Taoist title shall be Yuan Shi Tianjun. The Chan sect is hereby established. I, Tongtian of the Three Pure Ones, today establish the Jia sect. To intercept a sliver of hope for all living beings, my Taoist title shall be Lord of the Tongtian sect. I shall use the 4 Zuxian swords to anchor its destiny, the Jia sect. Immediately after, Ji Yin and Zunti from the west also began to make their great vows. And just like that, I became a sage, all within a single day. 5 sages descended upon the world, and the entire primordial realm trembled. Hongjun looked down on me, his tone laced with mockery. Ji Chen, all the disciples under my tutelage have achieved sainthood. And yet, you are still a mere ant. Now, the fortune of the human race has hit rock bottom. If you don't want the human race to be wiped out, the 7th disciple position under me is still reserved for you. I let out a roar. The burning injustice in my chest was about to explode. Just then, sect leader Tongtian's voice suddenly rang in my mind, Ji Chen. The fortune of the human race has not been taken. As long as the 100,000 primordial humans do not die, no one can truly plot against the fortune of your race. The reason we attained sainthood was due to the blessing of the heavenly merits you previously scattered. It was a moment of sudden enlightenment for me. So that was it. The merits from the creation of humankind that I had scattered twice before were drifting between heaven and earth. Hongjun had laid this trap long ago, just waiting for an opportunity like this. He gave all these merits to the 3 pure ones and the 2 sages of the west, which is how 5 sages were created in a single day. And Tongtian's words also showed me a clear path forward. Protecting the 100,000 primordial humans meant protecting the very foundation of the human race. After calming down, I first made arrangements for the human race. Then I headed straight for the ancestral witch temple. The 12 ancestral witches were already waiting outside. I stated my purpose directly. First, to ask the witch clan to protect the 100,000 primordial humans. Second, to learn from the witch clan's 9 revolutions mysterious art to create a cultivation technique for the human race. Within 10,000 years, the human race must also have its own sage. The 12 ancestral witches didn't hesitate for a moment. Not only did they immediately promise to protect the human race, they also demonstrated the 9 revolutions mysterious art and the grand formation of the heavenly gods and baleful fiends for me, right there in the temple. This demonstration lasted for 200 years. I went from complete ignorance to thoroughly grasping its essence. I had finally found the right direction for the human race's cultivation technique. 200 years later, I walked out of the ancestral witch temple to see that the human population at the foot of Bujo Mountain had grown to nearly 10 million. Their fortune had not only recovered from the previous deficit but had even surged dramatically. But I also knew that if the cultivation technique was not introduced soon, within 1,000 years, the 100,000 primordial humans would die of old age. At that time, the fortune of the human race would surely be carved up by the heavenly Tao. I settled my people, and with a single step that crossed 1,000 miles, I headed deep into the primordial wasteland. I announced loudly to the heavens and the earth, fellow Taoist Tongtian. Chen of the human race has a request. I hope you will come out and meet me. My voice instantly echoed throughout the entire primordial wasteland, and countless powerful beings turned their attention toward me. But before Tongtian could respond, a sky-blotting palm print descended from the 9 heavens. The avatar of the supreme pure sage descended directly, roaring furiously that he would annihilate me. As if I'm afraid of you. My eyes narrowed. I summoned the spear of annihilation and charged straight toward that palm print. With a deafening boom, the void shattered. I spat out a mouthful of blood, but on the other side, the supreme pure one was also hit by the backlash, coughing up blood as his face turned deathly pale in an instant. His face was filled with disbelief. The surrounding great powers were all in an uproar. No one had expected that I, with the body of a mere mortal, could clash head-on with the sanctified supreme pure one and even cause him to suffer a loss. My will to fight, instead of diminishing, soared. My 10,000 Zhang golden body erupted with power. A monstrous killing intent swept across the primordial realm. Taisheng, do you really think becoming a sage means you can do whatever you want? I was able to kill you once. And I can kill you a second time. Even though you are now a sage, I still dare to kill you. Taisheng completely lost his composure. He had already lost all face because his humanist sect was a title in name only, failing to secure even a shred of the human race's fortune. Now that I'd exposed his failings in front of everyone, he immediately attacked with his full power. The terrifying might of a sage pressed down, making every living creature in the primordial realm tremble. I summoned all the fortune of the human race to meet his attack. Once again, we collided with a deafening roar. Both of us spat out blood. We were blown back 1,000 miles. It was only then that Taisheng realized what was happening. He had established the humanist sect in the name of enlightening the human race. Yet now, he was trying to kill one of its members. He was suffering a direct backlash from his own doctrine. His face turned a sickly shade of green. Seeing that he couldn't kill me alone, Taisheng immediately turned to call for reinforcements. My brothers, I ask you to lend me your strength. Help me kill Chen, and we shall split the fortune of the human race among us. Eldest brother, I will lend you my aid. The next second, the Pangu banner ripped the very heavens and earth asunder. Tianjin descended in response to the call. And this sage as well. Nuwa unfurled the map of the world, instantly sealing off any chance of my retreat. She harshly condemned me for my insolence. Jin and Zunti then appeared as well. In perfect unison, they demanded my submission to the west. 5 sages had descended. They had me completely surrounded. The tension was palpable. A great war was about to erupt. But just at that moment, an aura of slaughter, powerful enough to rip apart the world, swept across the battlefield. The true form of Sect Master Tongtian descended with a crash. Immortal exterminating sword formation, arise. With his furious roar, the 4 immortal exterminating swords instantly formed the Great Array. Terrifying sword energy shot straight into the heavens, and the tension across the entire primordial realm instantly reached its peak. Tongtian, you bastard. You are a sage. How dare you help Chen? Yuanqi's eyes widened in fury as he berated him for defying their master. And for defying the heavenly Tao itself. But Tongtian paid their threats no mind. He shouted coldly, all of you, get lost. Or else, my immortal exterminating sword formation might just have to slaughter a sage today. If you don't believe me, then by all means, try me. But there were 5 sages against him, after all. It takes 4 sages to break his sword formation, and the one left over would be more than enough to take my life. The situation was still incredibly dangerous. I turned my head to look at Tongtian beside me. I spoke out clearly, Sect Master, rest assured. It's not that easy to kill one of the human race. Sect Master, we have a rare opportunity today. Why don't we join forces, and kill one of these sages? The moment I said that, the entire primordial realm fell deathly silent. Countless great powers gasped in shock. Across from us, the faces of the 5 sages changed dramatically. Tongtian was stunned for a moment, and then he looked at me. A towering will to fight ignited in his eyes. Why wouldn't I dare? If the human master dares to challenge all the saints of the heavens with a mere mortal body, how could I, Tong Tianjiaozu, possibly be afraid? At that moment, Tong Tianjiaoju's expression was filled with excitement. I've despised these scoundrels for a long time. If we can actually kill a saint, that would be truly wonderful. Excellent. In that case, let's fight with everything we've got. I instantly magnified my presence, igniting the very fate of the human race. An overwhelming killing intent swept across the primordial realm as I roared. Who will face death? I will send you on your way. You've gone too far, bullying a saint. Chen. I, Yuanqi, will come and test you. Before he could finish his sentence, the Pangu banner shot toward my face with world-destroying power. Excellent. Today, I will slaughter a saint. My dragon's roar shook the heavens and the earth. Yuanqi Tianan's expression changed drastically as he cried out in alarm. Oh no, the golden dragon of the human path. He panicked instantly. He thought he had picked an easy target, but he ended up hitting a steel wall. The great powers watching from the primordial realm were instantly in an uproar. They all knew that with the golden dragon of the human path in my hands, I truly had the power to slaughter a saint. Ha 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 ha, fellow Taoist Chen, what incredible skill. Since that's the case, how can I, Tong Tian, fall behind? Tong Tianjiaozu unleashed his full power with a furious roar. Zuxian sword formation, arise. The sword formation spread out instantly. Tai Ching hurriedly used the Taiji diagram to stabilize the void, while Nuwa, Jian, and Zunti also brought out their ultimate treasures to defend with all their might. The four saints were instantly trapped by the sword formation. Chen, I've trapped the four saints. Yuanqi Tianjun is all yours. Alright, a great battle instantly erupted across the primordial realm. The golden dragon danced wildly around me, pursuing Yuanqi Tianjun and forcing him to constantly dodge. He didn't dare to face me head-on. Yuanqi Tianjun, you call yourself a saint, yet you don't even dare to face me directly? How utterly shameful. Yuanqi, come on, come over here and fight me. Why are you running, you coward? I constantly provoked him with my words. Yuanqi Tianjun was seething with rage, but looking at the golden dragon around me, he just couldn't bring himself to advance. But it wasn't long before Tong Tianjiaozu was the first to notice something was wrong. Wait, that's not the golden dragon of the human path. Right after, Yuanqi Tianjun, unable to dodge, was forced to take one of my hits. He, too, instantly realized that if it had been the real golden dragon of the human path, he would have already been gravely injured by now. Damn it. It really isn't the golden dragon of the human path. This saint was almost tricked by you. Chen, prepare to die. The tables turned in an instant. Yuanqi Tianjun attacked with his full strength. I was beaten so badly I kept coughing up blood, yet a smile crept across my lips. Haha, so you saw through my plan. But so what? You'll be the perfect whetstone for me. The moment I finished speaking, I raised my spear and charged forward again. The primordial lord of heaven was utterly enraged, unleashing the full power of the Pangu banner to suppress the luck of the human race. He pointed a finger at the spot between my brows, intending to strike me down right then and there. Ha ha ha, Chen. In the end, you were still killed by me. The luck of the human race now belongs to this saint. The primordial lord of heaven laughed maniacally, but in the next second, from within the clouds of dust, an even more terrifying aura erupted towards the heavens. I transformed into a golden war god, rising from the ground. The luck of the human race surrounding me hadn't diminished at all. In fact, it soared, breaking right through its previous limits. Even Hongjun suffered a backlash from the jade disc of creation and instantly escaped into the river of fate. Yuanqi, come and fight. With a furious roar, my aura surged to its absolute peak. Transforming into the shadow of a dragon, I charged straight at the primordial lord of heaven, and we clashed violently in the void above. Although I was beaten into a sorry state, my body battered down from colossal heights to mere inches. The phantom golden dragon surrounding me shrank to just a few hundred feet, yet its Dao rhyme became even more condensed. The form of the martial way grew ever clearer. It was only then that the Grand Master of Heaven fully understood, sighing as he spoke aloud. So that's what this is about. Chen, you have incredible nerve. I, Tong Tian, admit I am no match for you in that regard. This was no golden dragon of humanity. It was clearly the human Dao that I forged using the luck of the human race. The primordial lord of heaven also realized in that instant that he had been used as a whetstone to forge this Dao. He completely lost his composure, directly summoning the power of the heavenly Dao. He meant to obliterate both me and the human Dao. Just at that critical moment, an irresistible force suddenly descended, instantly suppressing the primordial lord's attack. Golden light rained down upon the world as auspicious signs of dragons and phoenixes appeared. Dao Ancestor Hongjun had appeared. We greet you, Dao Ancestor. All the saints bowed together. Hongjun's words became cosmic law. He commanded the battle to a halt. Stop this at once. My colossal golden body shattered instantly, but the golden dragon of my Dao continued to roar in defiance. With a soft grunt, Hongjun dispersed it. I immediately coughed up a mouthful of blood. Chen, silence. Hongjun snapped, turning his head to look at me. Chen, my seventh disciple. Have you made your decision? I gave a cold laugh. Looking at the warning hidden in his eyes, I answered loud and clear. I'm sorry, but being a heavenly Dao saint is something even a dog would refuse. Hongjun instantly lost his composure. He nearly flew into a rage on the spot. The other saints were so stunned they could barely stand. Fine, Yu Chen. You've got some nerve, since that's your choice. Then we'll settle this by other means. I am confident that you will become my 7th disciple. After leaving this threat, Hongjun's figure vanished in an instant. The other saints also spat threats before dispersing, leaving only me and the Grand Master of Heaven in the void. Yu Chen, if you please. Come to my training grounds to talk. The Grand Master of Heaven beckoned with one hand. A golden gate leading straight to Golden Turtle Island appeared before us. I suppressed my surprise. With one step, I entered. On Jinao Island, 10,000 immortals came to pay their respects. Countless beings knelt in worship. The scene was truly spectacular. After we took our seats, Grandmaster Tongtian was the first to speak. Fellow Taoist Yu Chen, you truly hide your talents well. In just 200 short years, you were actually able to create your own Tao system. Ha ha ha, Grandmaster Tongtian, you're too kind. It's just a rudimentary form, that's all. It's a pity that I was interrupted by Hongjun at a critical moment and couldn't perfect it completely. By the way, may I ask, Teacher of Humanity, what is your Tao system called? For now, I'm calling it the Martial Tao. The true martial great Tao. I comprehended it by observing the Witch Clan's 9 revolutions mystic art. Which Pangu created when he manifested the primordial world. It's just not yet complete. I still need your help, Grandmaster. Hearing this, Grandmaster Tongtian was greatly shocked. He quickly asked how he could help. I have already observed the Witch Clan's 9 revolutions mystic art. I know that you, Grandmaster, are a manifestation of Pangu's primordial spirit. I hope you can demonstrate the 9 revolutions primal art for me, so that I may observe and verify my own path. Alright, I will demonstrate it for you now. Without a second thought, Grandmaster Tongtian immediately activated the immortal exterminating sword formation to envelop all of Jinao Island, cutting off all prying eyes from the outside world. He then demonstrated the 9 revolutions primal art for me on the spot. I focused my spirit to observe it, using it to verify my own martial Tao. In the blink of an eye, 100 years passed. 100 years later, a terrifying aura erupted on Jinao Island. My martial Tao had finally taken another step forward. The rime of the Tao flowed around my body, and golden dragons coiled around me. I immediately bowed to Grandmaster Tongtian. Thank you, Grandmaster. The Tao system of the human race has advanced another step. It's nothing. To be able to help the teacher of humanity is my good fortune. Afterwards, I explained the core principles of the martial Tao to Grandmaster Tongtian in full. When he finished listening, his expression changed dramatically. He grew to admire my boldness even more. During our conversation, Grandmaster Tongtian suddenly mentioned that Hongjun had sought him out privately. He wanted him to persuade me to join the Zishao Palace, and even offered a wisp of primordial violet chi as a bargaining chip. As he spoke, a wisp of primordial violet chi appeared in his hand. My heart shuddered. I instantly guessed Hongjun's scheme. But before I could react, that wisp of primordial violet chi suddenly erupted and shot straight into my body. Teacher of humanity, be careful. Grandmaster Tongtian hurriedly tried to suppress it, but was instantly repelled. The violet chi instantly rushed into my body. Damn it, quick, help me suppress this primordial violet chi. If it acknowledges me as its master, the human race is finished. My face changed drastically. I immediately mobilized the golden dragon of my Tao system within my body to battle the violet chi. Grandmaster Tongtian also did his utmost to help. But the primordial violet chi was too powerful. We couldn't suppress it at all. Just as it was about to rush into my primordial spirit at this life or death moment, an invisible, giant hand suddenly shot out from within my primordial spirit. With just a single word, disperse, uttered, that previously unstoppable wisp of primordial violet chi instantly vanished without a trace. In the Zishao Palace, Hongjun suddenly spurted a mouthful of blood. He appeared in the primordial world, filled with shock and fury, but couldn't find anything unusual at all. All he could do was rage powerlessly before storming off. Sect Master Tongtian and I stood there, stunned, with absolutely no idea where that terrifying power had come from. But with the crisis averted for now, we had no choice but to put it aside. Sect Master, it looks like Hongjun used you as his pawn. HMPH, of course, I know that. It's infuriating. Sect Master Tongtian was beyond angry. Seeing his state, I sighed and tried to reason with him. Sect Master, I must advise you on one thing. If you can, it's best to refuse this sainthood. While the will of the great god Pangu has not yet vanished, there's still time to pull back from the brink. Sect Master Tongtian looked conflicted, admitting that the stakes were too high. He couldn't give it up so easily, so I didn't press the matter further. I changed the subject. However, I have a favor to ask of you. I hope you won't refuse, Sect Master. Speak. I used the fortune of the human clan to envelop the entire Golden Turtle Island, cutting it off from all prying eyes. I said in a solemn voice, the war between the witch and demon clans is unavoidable. I have already foreseen the final outcome. Both the witch and demon clans will perish. Mount Bujo will collapse, and Pangu's will be completely extinguished. In the end, only the heavenly Tao will benefit. Sect Master Tongtian's face fell. He quickly closed his eyes to perform a divination, following the path I had laid out for him. In an instant, he saw the heavenly Tao's scheme clearly and flew into a rage. So that's how it is. To think, after Father God created the heavens and the earth, the heavenly Tao now wants to completely destroy him. This is outrageous. Human teacher, is there a way to resolve this? Sect Master, your primordial spirit was transformed from Pangu's primordial spirit. I hope you can separate off 12 parts of Pangu's primordial spirit for me. Human teacher, why do you ask for this? Hongjun wants to erase Pengu's will and is plotting against the witch clan. I intend to give these 12 portions of Pengu's primordial spirit to the 12 ancestral witches. They were born from Pengu's essence blood. It's only because they don't cultivate their primordial spirits that they can be diluted by the heavenly Tao's malevolent aura and fight the demon clan to the death. Once they possess primordial spirits, Hongjun's plot will collapse on its own. Sect Master Tongtian understood immediately. Without a second thought, he endured the excruciating pain and forcibly split off 12 portions of Pengu's primordial spirit. Even though his face turned pale and his aura weakened, he didn't utter a single word of complaint. I accepted the primordial spirits. Then I reminded him, the 4 immortal slaying swords are meant for slaughter. They cannot be used to stabilize your sect's fortune. In fact, they will only hasten its decline. Besides, the diagram for the immortal slaying formation is still in Hongjun's hands. It was a trap from the very beginning. Sect Master Tongtian had a sudden realization and hurriedly asked me for a solution. I told him that the spinal marrow of the Grey God Pengu is kept at Mount Bujo. You were transformed from Pengu's primordial spirit. As long as you can obtain it, not only will you be able to refine an innate supreme treasure to stabilize the Jia sect's fortune, but it will also leave you a path to cultivate the great Tao of Pengu in the future. Sect Master Tongtian was overjoyed and immediately made an agreement with me. In 100 years, we would go to Mount Bujo together. After bidding farewell to Sect Master Tongtian, I immediately returned to the Ancestral Witch Temple. The 12 ancestral witches saw this and rushed over, praising my show of power in the earlier battle with the primordial Lord of Heaven. Hee, you flatter me. I've brought you all something good on my return this time. Let's head to the Ancestral Witch Temple at once. Inside the temple, with a wave of my hand, 12 streams of Pengu's primordial spirit instantly appeared before everyone. The 12 ancestral witches shot to their feet, staring at the primordial spirits before them. Trembling all over with excitement, I told them everything that happened on Golden Turtle Island. The 12 ancestral witches were both shocked and furious, and they cursed the schemes of the heavenly Tao. They immediately tried to absorb and merge with the primordial spirits. But in the next second, all 12 ancestral witches spat out a mouthful of blood, their bodies instantly and heavily wounded. They collapsed weakly to the ground. What's going on? My expression changed drastically, and I rushed forward. Chen, there's something wrong with these Pengu primordial spirits. They contain the aura of the primordial violet chi. We can't withstand it at all. Empress Hutu spoke with a trembling voice. I felt as if I'd been struck by lightning. I finally realized what was happening. Hongjun had anticipated this all along. The primordial violet chi had long been integrated into the Pengu primordial spirits he gave to the 6 saints. Hongjun, what a vicious method. I gritted my teeth. I quickly asked Hutu if there was a solution. There is. Put the Father God's primordial spirits into the blood pool, and use the Father God's heart to slowly wear them down. Once the primordial violet chi is completely gone, we will be able to merge with them. Without a second thought, I immediately threw all 12 of Pengu's primordial spirits into the blood pool. The blood pool instantly churned with colossal waves, roaring without end. In Zishao Palace, Hongjun felt a tremor in his heart but couldn't divine any anomaly. He had no choice but to let it go, watching the surging blood pool. I suppressed the rage in my heart and told the 12 ancestral witches to rest and recover. As for myself, I found a safe place, preparing to enter seclusion for 100 years. In my mind, I quickly went over all my plans. Hongjun had already blocked all my escape routes. To break this stalemate, the only way is, before the 100,000 innate humans perish, to perfect the cultivation method for humanity and have a saint emerge from their race within 10,000 years. But after the war between the witch and demon races, Hongjun will definitely free up his hands to target humanity with all his might. By then, it will be too late. After a long while, I finally calmed down, having already made a decision in my heart. Since Hongjun wants to obliterate Pengu's will, then I will protect Pengu's will. As long as Pengu is not destroyed, the human race will be safe and sound. Then the heavenly Tao's scheme will never succeed. And even if I can't protect it, I still have to stall for time. I need to prepare for both possibilities. Rumble. Suddenly, a heaven-shaking wave surged from within my body. Previously, when I observed the 9 revolutions mysterious art, a prototype for the human cultivation method had already formed in my mind. Combined with the memory of creation left by the great god Pengu, the framework of the technique had already taken shape, and that battle with the primordial Lord of Heaven further proved that my path was not wrong. It's just a pity that I was stopped midway by Hongjun. Otherwise, my great Tao would have been perfected back then. But you win some, you lose some. Although it cut short my opportunity to polish my great Tao, it also allowed me to fully comprehend the 9 revolutions primordial art. And with that, this cultivation method for humanity also underwent a complete transformation. I entered a deep meditation, and in the blink of an eye, a century had passed. Until this day, within the ancestral witch temple, a domineering aura exploded in all directions. Externally, my body was forged to be as tough as steel and bone. Internally, I cultivated the primordial universe. So, that's how it is. I have achieved complete enlightenment, using the physical body as the foundation, forging the physique into sainthood, building a barrier for the world. Using the aura of the human race to open every acupoint in the body, evolving into chaos. Activating every cell in my body as an infinite source of power, and then taking the spirit of the human race as my will. To condense the power of laws within my body and shatter everything. And so, my body evolves into chaos, becoming a world of its own. Once the chaos within my acupoints shatters, and a new world is created, I can rely on the power of my own acupoints and infinite cells to finally prove the Tao through strength. The cultivation method of the human race is complete. Ha! Golden patterns flickered around my body, and the entire ancestral witch temple trembled. The boiling blood pool was instantly suppressed. A terrifying will swept through the entire temple. I instantly sensed that the ancestral witch temple was trying to repel and suppress this power. If I don't get out now, the Tao of humanity will surely be shattered. With a single thought, I appeared on Buzhou Mountain. The entire primordial world trembled in an instant. Countless mighty beings turned pale with fear at this terrifying human will. Even the saints of the heavens were all shocked. They could feel the aura of a saint, but it was clearly not the path of a heavenly Tao saint. Yuanqi, Jiyan, and Zunti. Even Hongjun's expression changed drastically at this moment. Damn it, how could this be? The Tao of humanity is actually complete. Hongjun's manifestation instantly descended upon the primordial world. At the same time, my own manifestation shot straight towards the 33rd heaven. To stand against him as an equal. He knew, once the foundation of the Tao of humanity is established, all his schemes will be for nothing. This time, he was truly afraid. Chen, you dare, what is there to not dare? I glared back in anger. This old bastard always comes to ruin things. Does he really think I'm a pushover? I, the teacher of the human race, today establish the Tao of humanity. Silence. Hongjun bellowed and struck down with his palm, trying to interrupt my declaration. But at that very moment, on Buzhou Mountain, the will of Pangu erupted with a roar, overpowering the entire primordial world. Hongjun's attack was instantly shattered. He himself was thrown back, coughing up a mouthful of blood. He finally understood completely. As long as he dared to act, Pangu would surely intervene. If it really came to that, the only outcome would be the primordial world falling into an immeasurable calamity. He didn't dare to move again. He could only give a death order to the 6 saints. Stop me at any cost. Whoever disobeys will be severely punished. HMPH. From high above the 9 heavens, the yin-yang fish descended, nearly blanketing the entire primordial world. Without a moment's hesitation, Taiching made his move. He knew very well that once my human race's Tao was proclaimed to the primordial world, his human teachings would become a complete joke. Chen, if you dare establish this Tao, I, the saint, will surely kill you. Why wouldn't I dare? I am the master of the human race. Who do you think you are? How dare you try to stand in my way? I shot back at him, grabbing with one hand. The spear of slaughter formed in an instant. I am the saint and the master of the human teachings. Without my permission, you dare to establish your own Tao for the human race? The duty of teaching humanity is mine. Now, disperse. The Taiji diagram descended with overwhelming holy power, and I thrust my spear straight at it. The spear shot towards the Taiji diagram, and the primordial world began to tremble. The human race's Tao instantly erupted in a brilliant light, managing to withstand the suppression of this innate supreme treasure. My aura began to skyrocket. Zon immortal, golden immortal, quasi-saint. It climbed at a crazy speed, almost visible to the naked eye. And then, the Pangu banner grew as it flew, heading straight for my face. Chen, you mere ant. How dare you try to establish a Tao? Today, I, Yuanqi, have brought the innate supreme treasure, the Pangu banner, specifically to suppress you. Yuanqi Tianjun roared. Fueled by both old and new hatred, he charged at me. I immediately ordered those who wanted to help me to stand down. This is a battle for the human race's Tao. If outsiders interfere, it will only make the foundation of our Tao unstable. Even if I win, the future of the human race will be fraught with disaster. This path is one I must walk alone. Chen, surrender now, and the Tao of the human race can exist under my human teachings. Otherwise, I will ensure that both you and your Tao are utterly destroyed today. Is that right? I don't think so. The moment I spoke, I directly ignited the destiny of the human race. A terrifying wave of energy erupted, instantly blasting away both the Taiji diagram and the Pangu banner. The expressions on Taiching and Yuanqi's faces changed drastically, but my aura was still surging. Mid-stage quasi-saint, all the way to the peak of the quasi-saint realm. I was just one step away from forcefully achieving sainthood. Chen, don't even think about it. At the critical moment, Nuwa suddenly attacked. The mountains and rivers state diagram descended instantly to reinforce the seal, while the red silk ball transformed into a streak of light. Carrying the power of creation, it shot directly towards me. I blocked the red silk ball with a backhanded thrust of my spear. But the impact still sent me reeling, and I coughed up blood. My surging aura was brought to a dead stop. Nuwa, you dare launch a sneak attack? You just wait. After this battle is over, I will storm the Wa Imperial Palace and kill you. My rage had reached its peak. With a furious roar, golden dragons materialized and roared around me. I channeled the power of the human race's Tao and slammed my fist hard against the seal. With a deafening crash, Nuwa, the 3 great saints, Taiching and Yuanqi, all coughed up blood simultaneously. My life force churned, and I too suffered from the backlash. I was spraying blood wildly, but just then, 2 streaks of light shot through the chaos, appearing behind me in an instant. A life or death crisis enveloped me. I thrust my spear out in a reverse grip. Though I blocked part of the attack, my back still took a heavy hit. My bones shattered inch by inch as I coughed up a violent spray of blood. The destiny of the human race was severely damaged, and even its entire lineage began to waver. I spun around. It was Jiyan and Zunti. They were still shamelessly claiming that the human race's destiny was tied to the West. I immediately started cursing them out. Filled with extreme rage, I directly ignited the destiny of the human race. Wielding the power of the human lineage, I slammed my fist viciously into Jiyan. Jiyan instantly spat out sacred blood, and even the destiny of the West was damaged along with him. I nearly beat him so hard his 3 flowers wavered. Zunti turned pale with fright. He rushed forward to help him, but in the next second, my spear of slaughter was already upon them. The two could only frantically summon the golden lotus of merit to defend themselves. They retreated again, and the look in their eyes was filled with dread. Return, Taiching roared, instantly pointing out the crucial flaw. I'm relying entirely on the power of the human lineage. Only by joining forces to wear me down can they destroy the foundation of humanity. Otherwise, I will just pick them off one by one. The 5 saints instantly reached an agreement, using the Taiji diagram as the eye of the formation. They laid down a great slaughter formation, determined to put me to death. Bring it on, I roared. A brilliant light erupted from my body as my will to fight soared to an unprecedented height. The Pan-Gu banner descended from the sky, its immense height pinning me down from above. It was meant to hold me in place. Seeing this, the other saints unleashed their own divine powers and closed in for the kill. I transformed directly into a colossal golden body. Wielding the thunderous power of the primordial world, I struck back fiercely, shattering the heaven and earth mystic yellow pagoda on the spot. Even the Pan-Gu banner began to crack under my assault. Yuanqi frantically poured his power into repairing it. But I had no way out. The endless killing karma of the primordial world surged toward me. The spear of slaughter in my hands was completely stained black. An endless murderous aura burst forth, overpowering all of heavens. I went berserk, directly burning away everything. The human lineage, the destiny of our race. The future of humanity. In that single moment, I gambled it all. Break. The spear of slaughter smashed violently against the Pan-Gu banner. There was no earth-shattering explosion. Only the surrounding space, which instantly collapsed from the terrifying blow into a black hole that devoured everything. The Pan-Gu banner shattered with a deafening crash, turning into countless fragments. It was completely devoured by the black hole. The heavenly lord of primordial beginning went mad. With his innate supreme treasure destroyed, he completely lost his mind. He charged at me in a suicidal attack, willing to be gravely injured or even perish. He was about to kill me too, but in that very instant, a black hole erupted with a roar, and a terrifying shockwave spread in all directions. Yuanqi Tianan's body was blown to pieces on the spot, and Taiching's great formation instantly shattered. Nuwa, Jiyan, and Zunti were also shaken so hard that half of their true forms were blasted away. They all spat out blood, and even the witch demon battlefield was affected. The great formation of heavenly stars and the true form of Pangu condensed by the 12 ancestral witches both completely collapsed. Di Jun and Dongwang Taiyi were knocked down into the primordial world, and even the Eastern Emperor Bel developed numerous cracks. Countless witches and demons perished completely. The great killing calamity of the primordial world was completely triggered. At the center of the explosion, my body was shattered and my spirit was weak, but I still held the killing spear tightly in my hand. With my last ounce of strength, I forced myself to stand. My blood-colored killing golden body rose from the ground once more. Ji Chen, I want you to die. Yuanqi Tianjun, resurrected with the heavenly Tao's primordial spirit. His anger soared to the 9th heaven. Having been killed by me in public, he had utterly lost all face. Holding the crack-covered Pangu banner, he charged at me once more. I dragged my exhausted body to meet his attack. He had just been revived and had no time to recover, and the Pangu banner's power was greatly reduced. For a moment, we were actually evenly matched. But just at that moment, something unexpected happened. The 10 golden crows, tainted by boundless baleful qi, had completely transformed into killing machines. They forced their way into the calamity, bursting out of the demon clan's heavenly court. They headed straight for the Bujo mountain range, as true sunfires swept across the land. Countless spiritual plants were set ablaze, and the rivers, lakes, and seas began to evaporate rapidly. Countless humans were burned to death, and the life force of 100,008 humans was plummeting. How dare you slaughter my people? You will die for this. My eyes were bursting with fury. I was about to slay the golden crows, but Yuanqi struck me hard from behind. The blow caused my human clan's destiny to plummet. I completely lost my mind. Yuanqi, you're asking to die. A throat-tearing roar shook the heavens and the earth. I directly detonated the human clan's entire Dao lineage. It was the very foundation of my people, but I had no other choice. In that instant, the magical power around my body surged violently. I forced my way into the saint realm. A terrifying saintly might swept across the entire primordial world. With a single thrust of my spear, I shattered all of Yuanqi Tianan's attacks and defenses. A terrifying power shot straight for his face. No. At that moment, Yuanqi Tianan's mind finally became clear. He saw the killing spear right before him and wanted to escape. But he found his body wouldn't respond. At this moment, it was as if time had slowed down. Yuanqi Tianan's body couldn't keep up with my thoughts. He could only watch helplessly as my killing spear plunged inch by inch into his chest. The next second, in a flash, it wasn't that time had slowed, it was that my speed was so fast that even a heavenly Dao saint like him couldn't react. Pucci, the killing spear instantly pierced through his true form. Explode. No. Boom. Yuanqi Tianan's true form was once again blown to smithereens by me on the spot. All the great powers present gasped in shock. I had killed the primordial Lord of Heaven twice in a row. shattered his sect's ultimate treasure, the Pangu banner, and completely drained the fortune of the Chan sect. Taiching, Nuwa, Jiyan, and Zunti, every single one of them turned pale. Their bodies trembled uncontrollably, afraid of a madman like me, who would dare to self-destruct the human race's Tao in exchange for power. But before they could recover from their shock, someone cried out in alarm. Because I had already become a streak of light, heading straight for the 10 golden crows in the sky who were mercilessly slaughtering the human race. Oh no, he's going to slaughter the golden crows. Di Jun's eyes burned with rage as he let out a furious roar. Wielding the He Tu and Luo Shu, he blocked my path. You're courting death. The long spear in my hand swept out with a thunderous boom. The He Tu and Luo Shu were sent flying on the spot. Before me. He didn't even have a chance to resist before my spear pierced through his chest. My sons, run. Di Jun spat a mouthful of blood onto the 10 golden crows. Before his words even faded, I shattered his true form with my spear, killing him instantly. The fortune of the demon race plummeted in an instant. In Zishao Palace, Hong Jun was so furious he cursed aloud. Di Jun was supposed to perish along with the Wu clan. But I killed him ahead of time. Yet, he didn't dare to intervene personally. He was afraid that if he made a move, Pangu would awaken. That was a price he could not afford to pay. I ignored Hong Jun's fury and continued my charge toward the 10 golden crows. But they had already used that brief opening to escape back to the heavenly court. Trying to run? Get back here. With a great roar, I charged straight for the heavenly court. But just then, an overwhelming weakness washed over my entire body. Damn it, the power I gained from sacrificing the human race's Tao was completely exhausted, my body faltered, and I plummeted from the 9 heavens to the primordial earth. Heavenly court, demon race, you just wait, when I return. I will crush the heavenly court and annihilate your entire race. Leaving behind these fierce words, I crashed violently into the ground, creating a bottomless crater. In this battle, I killed a saint, proving to the entire primordial world with my actions. Those who harm my people will be hunted down and destroyed, no matter how far they run. But the price was also horrifically steep. The fortune of the human race hit rock bottom, its Tao foundation shattered. Only a single, fading remnant was left, constantly dissipating. The 100,000 innate humans were on the brink of death. I, too, was covered in wounds, barely clinging to life. I was only holding on by that last thread of my people's fortune. I knew with absolute clarity that if I couldn't re-establish the Tao of the human race before this final trace of its essence vanished, the future of humanity would be completely lost. I bit my tongue hard to force myself to stay conscious, fighting with every ounce of my being to stand up. But I couldn't muster even a shred of strength. Just then, a dragon's roar thundered across the primordial world. It was the power of the way of humanity. It had harmed itself to forcefully channel a surge of power into me. Get up, I roared. My colossal Dharma body materialized in an instant, and my voice echoed throughout the entire primordial world. People of the human race, listen. I, Ji Chen, teacher of the human race, hereby establish the Tao tradition of humanity today. Without destruction, there can be no creation. From the ashes, we shall rise. The way of humanity shall not rely on the powers of heaven and earth. It will not follow the laws of the heavenly Tao. We will establish our way through our own essence, chi, and spirit. We will forge our path with our own flesh and blood, with our very spines. But before my voice could even fade, the aura of our new tradition suddenly faltered. The lingering energy from its self-sacrifice was simply not enough to sustain a complete Tao tradition for humanity. Above the 9 heavens, the saints of the heavenly Tao were instantly overjoyed. They roared with laughter, one after another, believing my cause was lost. The destiny of the human race was now theirs for the taking. In the Zishao Palace, Hong Jun narrowed his eyes. He was certain that my only option was to become his 7th disciple. Just as my heart was filled with frantic desperation, and I was about to fall into despair, the voice of the Tongtian cult master echoed across the primordial world. To divine a path of survival for me, he had burned his own Pangu primordial spirit. His 3,000 strands of black hair had all turned white, damaging the very foundation of his cultivation. Teacher of humanity, the lingering energy of the Tao tradition is not enough. Only the willing sacrifice of 100,000 of the firstborn humans can stabilize the foundation of our tradition. There is no other way. The moment he said this, the entire primordial world erupted, and I felt as if I'd been struck by lightning. On one hand, I could sacrifice 100,000 of my people to establish our tradition and leave a sliver of hope for humanity. On the other hand, I could refuse a sacrifice. Our tradition would completely vanish, and the human race would be doomed to eternal damnation. This was a blatant scheme, a plot designed to force me into an impossible corner. Tears of blood streamed from my eyes. Across the heavens and earth of the primordial world, a rain of blood began to fall, and just then, with a dull thud, 100,000 of the firstborn humans knelt in unison, all facing me, even though they were already on the verge of death. They forced their bodies upright and kowtowed deeply. Our revered teacher of the human race, for the sake of humanity, we are willing to end our own lives. We offer ourselves as a sacrifice. We only ask for our teacher's blessing to do so. As soon as he finished speaking, the first of the firstborn humans severed his own life force and collapsed to the ground. No, stop. All of you, stop. I shrieked, my voice torn with anguish. I wanted to stop them, but I was utterly powerless. Teacher, we make this offering of our own free will. For the sake of our people, I have no regrets. Teacher, we leave the future of humanity to you. Now I can go in peace. In life, we must forge an eternity of peace for our people. In death, we shall become their soul, guarding them for all eternity. Sentence by sentence, their final words. Vow by vow, their solemn oaths. 100,000 members of the primordial human clan went to their deaths in succession. Not a single one of them turned back. Their will, their destiny, their indomitable spirits, all gathered towards me, for the nearly extinguished lineage of the human clan. Reigniting its final spark of life. Chen, if you do not establish the lineage of the human clan now, then when? A furious roar from the Grand Master of Heaven ignited all the grief, anger, and killing intent in my heart. I faced the entire primordial realm, faced all the saints of the heavens. And faced the high and mighty Jun, swearing an oath in blood. All living beings of the primordial realm, listen to me. All saints of the heavens, listen to me. Jun, you listen to me as well. The human clan has suffered a calamity today. 100,000 primordial humans have been slaughtered. From this day forward, my human clan will surely seek retribution. Otherwise, may my entire human clan perish completely. Lineage of the human clan, be established. Rumble, an endless rhythm of the Tao swept across the primordial realm. The lineage of the human clan, at this very moment, was firmly established. I, Chen, mentor of the human clan, the first of the primordial humans in this realm, willingly offer myself as a sacrifice to complete the lineage of the human clan. As my voice fell, all the great powers of the primordial realm were stunned. And as I sacrificed myself, the lineage of the human clan was brought to full completion. A majestic destiny soared to the 9 heavens, shaking even chaos itself. But just then, the aura around me surged wildly, directly touching the threshold of sainthood. Establishing the lineage of the human clan had drawn an invitation from the heavenly Tao to become a saint. Along with boundless merits from the heavenly Tao, my heart sank. Once one becomes a saint, they are bound by the heavenly Tao. Becoming its puppet, everything I had done before would be in vain. I desperately suppressed my cultivation. But that power was simply unstoppable. Just at that moment, Jun's manifestation descended upon the primordial realm. The other 6 saints also appeared in unison. They bowed deeply in salute. Greetings, Master. Jun looked at me, his voice echoing throughout the heavens and earth. Chen, you have established the lineage of the human clan. This is a tremendous fortune. You may become a saint. And be the 7th disciple under me. Now, I shall bestow upon you the title, Human Sovereign. Are you not going to thank me quickly? I scoffed coldly, every word like a knife. Jun, stop spouting your nonsense to deceive the masses. A disciple of the Tao ancestor? Even a dog wouldn't want that title. You want me to become your disciple? I would rather die. Is that so? That is not up to you. As Jun's voice fell, points of purple light suddenly lit up in the depths of my soul. A complete strand of primordial violet chi actually manifested at this moment. The entire primordial realm erupted. There are only 7 strands of primordial violet chi between heaven and earth. The 6 saints each hold one. The last remaining strand was inside my soul all along. This was a trap laid by the heavenly Tao, all to force me into sainthood. To become the heavenly Tao's puppet. Get out of me. Out. I used every trick I had to try and expel the primordial violet chi. But it had long since bound itself to my soul, and I couldn't budge it at all. Seeing this, the other saints all roared with laughter. They were certain that my ascension was inevitable, and that I could only become their little junior brother. Letting them carve up the fortune of the human race. Just as I was being assaulted from within and without, and was about to collapse, the sky exploded with the roar of dragons. 100,000 rays of golden light erupted from my body, transforming into 100,000 golden dragons. They shot straight into the heavens. It was the 100,000 primordial humans who had sacrificed themselves. Before they died, they vowed that even in death, they would become the soul of the human race. To protect the human race, the 100,000 golden dragons roared in unison, and slammed their heads into the boundless merits of the heavenly Tao. With a tremendous boom, they actually shattered the merits of the heavenly Tao completely. Jun's expression changed drastically. He was seething with rage. And then, the 100,000 golden dragons turned back and rushed into my body, using all their strength to help me suppress the primordial violet chi. But the power of the primordial violet chi was too terrifying. The 100,000 golden dragons were severely wounded. My aura still broke through the boundary of a saint. I knew very well, one more step forward, and I would completely become a puppet of the heavenly Tao. I would have failed the 100,000 clansmen who died for me. I would have failed the human race I fought to the death to protect. No, I cannot become a saint. Otherwise, it will be too late for the human race. A blaze of suicidal glory erupted in my eyes. The aura around my body surged wildly. Chen, what are you doing? Tongtian Zhaoju's eyes were burning with rage. He rushed towards me like a madman. Jun was also completely panicked. He roared furiously, Chen. Stop, your sainthood is already a foregone conclusion. If you don't become a saint, the human race will face utter annihilation. I looked at them and let out a final roar. Jun, I told you. A heavenly Tao saint? Not even a dog would want to be one. And I, Chen, will certainly not be a running dog for the heavenly Tao. I would rather die, Tongtian Zhaozu, for all the help you've given my human race. We are eternally grateful. If I die, I entrust the human race to your care. Boom. My body, my soul, my everything, at this very moment, violently self-detonated. The power of the explosion swept across heaven and earth. My final words echoed through every corner of the primordial realm. A heavenly Tao saint? Not even a dog would want to be one. I died, the last primordial human. By detonating my own soul, I rejected the heavenly Tao's offer. I would rather die than be a puppet. Heaven and earth mourned as one. A rain of blood poured down, dyeing the entire primordial world red. The entire human race knelt, their wails of sorrow shaking heaven and earth. The Tongtian cult master released a murderous aura as if he had gone mad, and the 12 ancestral witches all shed tears. The golden dragon of the human path let out mournful cries. Hong Jun closed his eyes. He took several deep breaths to suppress the overwhelming rage. The grand scheme has been disrupted by me again. His voice was ice cold. It instantly echoed in the minds of all the sages. All 100,008 humans are dead. The fortune of the human race is completely unbound. If not now, then when? As his voice fell, the sorrow in the eyes of the sages vanished instantly, replaced by extreme greed and excitement. Taisheng was the first to act. The Taiji diagram transformed into a sky-covering net, heading straight for the human race's fortune. Nuwa followed close behind, the painting of mountains, rivers, and the earth crashing down. Suppress it for me. Ji Yin and Zunti roared with laughter. Ha ha ha, such immense fortune of the human race is naturally destined for us in the West. Yuan Tianan's eyes were practically splitting with rage. He summoned the cracked Pangu banner and viciously plunged it into the human race's fortune. Plundering it frantically, the 5 sages attacked all at once. They were madly snatching the human race's fortune that I protected with my life. Perhaps, this is their true face. In an instant, the heavens descended into utter chaos. For the human race's fortune, the sages completely dropped all pretenses. Taisheng of the human clan teaching shouted that the fortune should be his. Yuan Tianjun, with red eyes, said he had been killed twice. His Pangu banner was even damaged, so he should be the first to benefit. The 2 sages of the West snuck over, wanting a piece of the pie. Even Nuwa became frantic. The group started fighting right then and there, no one caring about the life or death of the human race. Our fortune became their nourishment. The entire human race had become the puppets of these sages. Just then, 4 colossal, heaven-supporting swords, carrying world-destroying power, tore through the sky. Get lost, all of you. A deafening roar shook the primordial world. The immortal slaying sword formation took shape in an instant. It trapped all the sages inside. The expressions of the sages changed drastically. They looked at the Tongtian cult master inside the formation, his murderous aura so thick it was almost tangible, and were both shocked and furious. Tongtian, you dare to set up your sword formation against us? Stop this, all of you. Tongtian's voice was filled with a deadly aura. His eyes were crimson, and a scarlet demonic energy swirled around him. The human race's fortune belongs to the human race. Since the human teacher entrusted the humans to my care, none of you will touch a single shred of it. I don't care who it is. Anyone who dares to harm the human race. I will risk my entire Jia sect, I will risk my sagehood. To completely annihilate them, even their primordial spirit that is entrusted to the heavenly Tao. I will wipe them out completely. Every single word. Surged with a heaven-piercing killing intent. The demonic energy around him erupted completely. His power skyrocketed. He had actually fallen into a demonic state. In the Zishao Palace, Hong Jun's eyes snapped open, shocked and enraged. But just as he was about to suppress him, he was stopped directly by the heavenly Tao. The oath made by the demon ancestor Luohu long ago had already merged with the heavenly Tao. Tongtian's fall to a demonic state was in accordance with the will of heaven. No one can interfere except for himself. The remaining 5 sages exchanged a look, and a crooked thought began to form. Tongtian has fallen into a demonic state, and his power has grown immensely. We 5 sages must join forces to break the formation. The fortune of the human race will be divided equally. As soon as the words were spoken, the divine powers of the 5 sages all smashed into his immortal slaying sword formation. But they never expected that the immortal slaying sword formation, activated by the demon-possessed Tongtian, was far beyond its former power. The overwhelming demonic aura suppressed the primordial world as sword energy swept toward them. The 5 sages couldn't hold on. Taiching was the first to sell out his friends. He directly burned most of his Pangu primordial spirit, using the Taiji diagram to forcefully tear open a gap. Then he immediately unleashed the Kongtong seal, trying to take the human race's fortune. Tongtian let out a cold snort. A terrifying wave of sword energy shot out, instantly piercing through Taiching's body. And sliced one of his arms clean off. Damn it, Taiching clutched his severed arm, holding the Kongtong seal and the small bit of human fortune he had snatched. He fled for his life without a second glance, leaving all 4 of his companions behind in the formation. Seeing this, Yuan Tianjun also panicked and followed suit, burning most of his Pangu primordial spirit. He was about to escape using the Pangu banner when Nuwa urgently called for him to take her with him. But he viciously kicked her back into the formation and selfishly escaped back beyond the 33 heavens. Inside the formation, only Nuwa, Jiyan, and Zunti remained. The immortal slaying sword formation could not be broken without 4 sages. Now, with only the 3 of them left, it was no different from seeking death. Kill them for this sect master. Amidst the roaring, the 3 sages didn't even have a chance to struggle before they were ground into mincemeat by the sword formation. Blood rained from the sky, and the primordial world wailed in sorrow. 3 great sages had thus fallen. Tongtian withdrew the sword formation, gazing in the direction where I had self-detonated. The iron-willed man actually shed tears. He murmured my name, feeling guilty that he couldn't protect me, and regretting even more that he hadn't seen the true nature of these sages sooner. And the true faces of Hongjun in the heavenly Tao. He had considered detonating his own sagehood to join me. But he couldn't. The Jia sect needed him to preside over it. The human race I entrusted to him needed his protection even more. Just as he roared towards the heavens, his heart filled with grief and rage. Dragon roars suddenly echoed from the direction of Buzhou Mountain. All the humans of the primordial world knelt and kowtowed in the direction of my self-detonation. An endless torrent of the human race's willpower gathered frantically. It actually condensed into a 10,000-mile-long golden dragon that stretched across the entire void. I was enveloped by this scalding hot power that belonged to the human race. My scattered soul began to recondense, and my form slowly materialized. Welcome back, teacher of humanity. Tongtian looked at me, his whole body trembling with excitement, and roared in unison with the humans of the primordial world. I gave him a deep bow. Thank you, sect master, for risking your life to protect the human race. This kindness is something the human race will never forget. It's nothing. As long as you've come back to life, that's all that matters. Tongtian smiled broadly, but then his brow furrowed. But your foundation has been destroyed. You can only survive now by relying on the fortune of the human race. I shook my head. I, Ji Chen, am the teacher of humanity. This life has always been for the human race. What happens to me doesn't matter. It was never important, let alone now. The great Tao is 50, yet heaven's divination is 49. Everything in existence has a sliver of hope, and naturally, so do I. Tongtian understood in an instant, and the light in his eyes grew even brighter. He reminded me that without the 100,000 primordial humans to anchor it, the human race's fortune is now held up entirely by our willpower. If it's not anchored again, it will scatter sooner or later. I smiled and told him. The Kongtong seal is merely one of Hongjun's schemes. The treasure I seek to protect our race is far more powerful than that. Sect master, would you be willing to accompany me on a trip to Buzhou Mountain? Excellent. I had the very same intention. At the same time, in Zishao Palace, Hongjun was already seething with rage. He looked at the injured sages below him, simmering with suppressed fury. Taiching lost an arm and depleted more than half of his Pengu primordial spirit. He barely managed to snatch a sliver of the human race's fortune. Yuanqi's fate was even worse. He was killed twice, and even his Pengu banner was rendered useless. He didn't gain a single thing. The remaining three were all slain once directly. Their fortunes plummeted sharply. He first took out the cauldron of creation. He helped Yuanqi repair the Pengu banner, and P promised him that the Chan sect would prosper in the future. He then gave Nuwa the flesh and blood of a chaos fiend god and the creation cauldron, telling her to help reshape the body of Dijun, whom I had cleverly eliminated. He even refined Dijun's physical body to be comparable to an innate supreme treasure, all in preparation to use him against me. Finally, he laid out a plan for all the sages. When the fortune of my human race collapses, everyone is to strike together. They will help Taiching use the seal to seize the fortune and drag all variables back to their predetermined fate. But despite all their calculations, they never foresaw that Tongtian and I were already standing at the foot of Buzhou Mountain. Tongtian looked at Buzhou Mountain, which had been scorched bare by the 10 golden crows, and gnashed his teeth in hatred. I raised my eyes to look toward the heavenly court of the demon race. My tone was firm and decisive. Rest assured, they won't be running rampant for much longer. The moment I find the treasure that protects the human race will be the day the 10 golden crows meet their doom. They dared to kill my people, so they must pay with their lives. We began our ascent, pushing forward, heading straight for the depths of Buzhou Mountain. Tongtian could no longer hold back. He asked me exactly where Pengu's spinal marrow was. I told him, Pengu's spinal marrow is the flesh and blood of the Father God. Whether we can obtain it depends entirely on whether the Father God is willing. Tongtian understood in an instant. He immediately knelt down facing Buzhou Mountain and performed 3 respectful kowtows. Father God above, your child, Tongtian, has been schemed against by the heavenly Tao. Although I established the Jia sect to intercept a sliver of hope, I lack an artifact to anchor its fortune. I beseech the Father God to have mercy and grant me the spinal marrow to help your child escape this plot. The moment his voice faded, Buzhou Mountain rumbled violently, and the might of Pengu instantly swept across the entire primordial realm. A beam of golden light shot straight into the sky, pointing directly at the enormous gap on Buzhou Mountain. That was a piece that Hongjun had forcibly carved out years ago in order to weaken Pengu's will.